Morning everyone, welcome to Mrtb Mrtb. We're getting straight into it because these videos are supposed to be about reading the Bible, not me chattering on about stuff. This is Mark chapter 2 verse 13. The title is Jesus Calls Levi and Eats with Sinners. What a great little title for a section. Jesus calls Levi and eats with sinners. It sounds like a Quentin Tarantino movie or something like that. What's going to go down when he eats with these sinners? Maybe something interesting. Let me read it to you. Once again, Jesus went out beside the lake. A large crowd came to him and he began to teach them. As he walked along, he saw Levi, son of Alphaeus, sitting at the tax collector's booth. "Follow me," Jesus told him, and Levi got up and followed him. Two interesting things about that. Firstly, Levi is a tax collector. At this particular time in Israel's history, they are this tiny little nation, and they are dominated by a huge empire called the Roman Empire. And the Roman Empire would charge the Jewish people taxes. Now, it's not like people had heaps of money sitting around. They're not paying money taxes, but they're paying taxes in their farms, like their farmland, like their grain and their wheat and their fruit and vegetables and things like that. There's some reports that the Roman Empire at this point would charge people up to 80% tax. 80%. That means you got to keep like 20%. So imagine, I'm not good at math, but imagine, your thing is like bananas. So for every 10 bananas, I doubt they grew bananas, but for every 10 bananas, you would have to give 8 of them to the Roman Empire, and you only got to keep 2 for yourself. So you're doing all this bleeding hard work to feed your family and to keep your farm running, and then you have to give 80% to the Romans. But the tax collectors, was their job. It was their job to collect these taxes off people. But no one knew how much the Romans were taxing at any given point in time. Only Levi knew. Only the tax collectors knew. Only the important people knew. So all these poor farmers, they didn't know. So Levi, maybe the Romans wanted 8 bananas, but he could say, actually, they want 8.5 bananas. I'm going to take half of an extra banana of yours. Now, there's no evidence that Levi actually did this, but tax collectors could do this. They could just take whatever they wanted because no one knew, and then they would force them to give it with violence and the Roman military establishment. And can you imagine doing all that hard work and having to give it away? So, needless to say, tax collectors are not well liked. If you were wandering around as a rabbi, a teacher, a religious man, you're not going to be choosing tax collectors to be part of your posse, to be part of your disciple group. They're hated. They're hated. They are actually hated by the people around them. They're not good religious people. But Jesus goes up to Levi and he says, "Come follow me." Do you know what that means? It means that there's no one that Jesus is not inviting to be his follower, to be his disciple. You don't have to be good. You don't have to be a religious person. You don't have to feel like you're righteous. You could feel like you're the worst person in the world. And Jesus is saying to you, I want you. You are so important. I want you to be my follower. I want you to come with me. With you, we are going to change the world, he is saying to Levi. And you know the other remarkable thing? Levi does it. He gets up and he does it. He follows straight away. When Jesus calls, he follows. Verse 15. While Jesus was having dinner at Levi's house, many tax collectors and sinners were eating with him and his disciples, for there were many who followed him. Catch that? Who were the people who were following Jesus? Tax collectors and sinners. These are the kind of people that Jesus hangs out with. The people that like Jesus the least? It's the religious people. We'll see. When the teachers of the law and the Pharisees saw him eating with sinners and tax collectors, they asked his disciples, "Why does he eat with sinners and tax collectors?" On hearing this, Jesus said, "It's not the healthy who need a doctor, but the sick. I have come not to call the righteous, but sinners," says Jesus. The people who felt most uncomfortable around Jesus were the religious types, the people who thought they were better than everybody else, the people who felt most comfortable around Jesus. Did I say that the right way around? I don't know. Anyway, the people who felt least comfortable around Jesus, religious types. The people who felt most comfortable around Jesus were the sinners, the broken-hearted, the grieving, the hurting, the people who were made to feel less than and on the fringes. My friends, if you are someone who feels like you're not worthy, who feels down on themselves, who has negative self-talk all the time, you are the exact kind of person who Jesus is saying, come and follow me. You are worthy. You belong here in my family with all the other sinners and tax collectors.